Next on Fox Sports Saturday at the races, the road to the Derby continues with Grade 1 winner Nick's Go ready to make a splash in his 3-year-old debut. At Aqueduct, the Jimmy Winkfield is a Derby audition for Hey Call. Will he pass the 7-furlong test? At Santa Anita, Bellafina will be the shortest price favorite of the day. With all the pressure on, can this super filly continue to overwhelm the competition in the Las Virgenes? And at Oaklawn Park, Wilbo tries to go back-to-back in the King Cotton, this time entering off a 7-month layoff. Fox Sports Saturday at the races is brought to you in part by America's Best Racing. For the love of the race, visit americasbestracing.net today. Welcome to Fox Sports Saturday at the races on Fox Sports 2. Great to have you with us for the second installment of our 12 shows over the course of the next few months as we're going to take you down the road to the Kentucky Derby and Kentucky Oaks. Greg Wolf alongside, 4-time Major League All-Star Paul LaDuca. 3 more prep races today that earn you qualifying points to get into the starting gate for the Derby and the Kentucky Oaks, 2 Philly races, and of course the Sam F. Davis, that Derby prep down at Tampa Bay.
Yeah, and that's what Fox Saturday at the races is about. Let's just be honest. It's about getting to the first Friday and Saturday in May. We're going to see a super filly today in Bellafina here at Santa Anita. And then the Sam F. Davis, which is a prelude, obviously, to the Tampa Bay Derby over there in Oldsmar, Florida, always has an impact. It's a grab bag today, and maybe one of these horses will stick out, maybe going towards the Tampa Bay Derby.
And we saw Bluegrass Cat a few years ago, wound up winning that race. He'd gone over in second in the Kentucky Derby and in the Belmont Stakes as well. Nick's Go, the big name in the Sam F. Davis today. Let's take a look at the races we'll be showing you this afternoon, brought to you in part by Windstar Farm, the farm that pays you back. We have action all over the country. The Jimmy Winkfield, that could be a Derby prep for a horse by the name of Hey Call. If he runs big in this 7-furlong event, Kieran McLaughlin, Chadwell Stable could put him on the Derby trail. Sam F. Davis from Tampa Bay. And we also have the Suncoast that earn you points for the Kentucky Oaks for 3-year-old fillies. Of course, at Santa Anita, one of the best 3-year-old fillies in the entire country. Bellafina, she was the beaten favorite in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. She is back in action. Her 3-year-old debut was absolutely sensational. You can bet all the action we're showing you today by getting signed up and started with Naira Bets. Members can earn a $200 new member sign-up bonus. Enter that promo code LIVE at sign-up. Bet 200 and get 200 to bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Go to NairaBets.com or download the Naira Bets app. We're going to check in with our first live action of the day. That is the 7th from Aqueduct, a starter optional claiming race at 7 furlongs. Let's go to Andy Serling.
Thanks so much, Greg. One of the most important things I think to talk about with Aqueduct at this point is we've seen over the last several days of racing, despite rain intervening, as inside speed has been very, very good in our races here at Aqueduct. I think it's important to note that we have a track that's probably playing favorably to inside speed runners, and that could hurt horse like the favorite 419. Now, obviously, the favorite, the number 5, 419, is currently 3-5. Much the horse to beat based on the debut for Todd Pletcher. She ran off and hid from a field. The horse that she beat, Stirred Not Shaken, she beat her by 7 lengths, and Stirred Not Shaken just beat the last field by about 7 lengths himself, but she was also riding the rail that day, and I'm hoping for an upsetter. Small shot with the 4, double the bet. A third-time starter for trainer Chris Englehart. Has not run in over 5 months since breaking her maiden on a sloppy track at Finger Lake. She would have to improve, but she gets Lasix for this start, and more importantly, with an aggressive ride from Jose Lezcano, she could be the inside speed. And on this racetrack, I'm willing to take a shot with a long shot that might play out to be the inside speed.
All right, Andy, thank you. Well, double digits, 11-1 on the runner that Andy likes, the 4, double the bet. As for the favorite, Paul, odds on right now on the 5-horse 419.
Well, listen, it's the horse to beat off a smashing win at 4-1. The horse did get floated out about 5 or 6 wide. I took a shot a little bit with the 2, a little bit of an unknown, who's your second choice, as that's the one that's given him a little bit, as she's balking at the gate a tiny bit here.
And Mike Luzzy will be aboard the 3. She's a Lumberjane and will move in as well. But it is favoritism, odds-on favoritism to the 5, 419. You're watching Fox Sports Saturday at the races. The Jimmy Winkfield is next from New York. But right now, it's the 7th, and John Imbrial has the call.
And number 5, 419, is the current 3-5 favorite. She's about to go into the starting gate, and that will leave us with Diamond and Simon and Shaq's Hidden Gem. Field of 7, going 7/8 of a mile on Aqueduct's fast main track. Diamond and Simon now being moved in, and she goes in nicely. 1 to go. That's Shaq's Hidden Gem, who will break from the outside post position with Dylan Davis. Shaq's Hidden Gem is in, and we are just about set for the start of the 7th race. And they're off. Bit of a stumble there for number 6, Diamond and Simon, but she quickly recovered, and she's going out for the lead along with 419. 419 and Diamond and Simon, and they're heads apart for the lead. Bustin' Scones is at the rail racing in 3rd. Shaq's Hidden Gem is next in 4th, followed by Warren's Vengeance in 5th, and it's She's a Lumberjane, and 2.5 lengths to a rank Double the Bet, who trails the field in 7th. The quarter went in 23 seconds. 419 at the rail, by a head over long shot Diamond and Simon. The front 2 have opened up 4 lengths on Bustin' Scones in 3rd. Then it's Shaq's Hidden Gem racing in 4th, followed by Warren's Vengeance, Double the Bet, and She's a Lumberjane. And now they're midway around the far turn, and a battle for the lead. 419 on the inside and Diamond and Simon on the outside. They are right together. They have almost 5 lengths on Shaq's Hidden Gem in 3rd. And then down on the inside is Bustin' Scones. The half went in 46 and 4. They come off the turn and enter the stretch. And 419 is asked for more. Gets away to lead by 1.5 lengths over Diamond and Simon. Bustin' Scones runs in 3rd with a 16th to the finish. It's 419 clear by almost 3. 419. And Manny Franco on to victory here. 419 by a length. Diamond and Simon was 2nd. Then Bustin' Scones and Warren's Vengeance.
419, the odds-on favorite for Todd Pletcher. She remains perfect now, 2 for 2.
Yeah, a little bobbing and weaving there in the lane with Manuel Franco, but he was able to keep her straight. Diamond and Simon, the 6, really fought on hardly here hard at 18 to 1. But was only 2nd best.
This trifecta is going to be nice. 3 to 5 favorite, over 18 to 1, over 25 to 1. You see that 6-horse, a little green there in the stretch, ducking down to the inside. There was no getting 419 though.
No, there really wasn't. A horse that just the speed was best from the beginning. But like I said, I thought the 6 really fought on well. So did Bustin' Scones. Horse that when she got off the inside to the outside, she really started to stride out a little bit better lately. But you see the 6 ducking in a tiny bit there, deep in stretch.
You see a look back there from Manny Franco. He was well clear to get this victory. So first try against winners, this lightly raced daughter of the Claiborne sire Flatter coming up with the win for Pletcher. Manny Franco and MEB Racing Stables wins it 3 to 5. 5-6-1-2 finish, of course, still to come on our show. One of the top fillies in the entire country. Bellafina rattled off 3 consecutive graded stakes wins. She was the beaten favorite in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies, but boy, did she come back huge in her 3-year-old debut. 8.5 length score in the Santa Ynez. She'll take on the 2nd and 3rd place finishers again as she tries to stay one of the top 3-year-old fillies in the country. Coming up.
Carpe Diem was a serious racehorse with the physical to match. A debut Maiden Special weight winner at Saratoga. He beat the graded stakes winner Ready for Rye, and he was named a TDN Rising Star that day.
Sean, he was brilliant. At 2, I loved his race in the Breeders' Futurity. I also loved his race in the Bluegrass. When I saw him in the paddock, he looked absolutely stunning. This horse has it all. Looks, brilliance, class. I can't wait to 2-year-olds to hit the racetrack.
Coming on strong. Coming on.
Minute to Stardom leaves them all behind with an impressive-looking run.
Coming on.
Testing 1-2 is all alone. She comes to the 16th pole, and this one is all over but the crying. At the 16th pole, this is all Rockin' Sunday Mash.
My love for you. Coming on strong.
One of the things I like about Run Happy is he's one of the more athletic sires that I've seen. He's clearly passing that on to his offspring. He's really staying from the foals, and they're starting to look a lot like him.
Well, this horse comes from a great sire who was just so talented, and we've wanted to buy one ever since we started looking in November.
16.5, bargain bank $250,000.
And then you add a sire like Run Happy, and then you put a physical on the ground like that baby, and you know, for us, it's a must-have.
Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
At the races on Fox Sports 2, it's brought to you in part by the champion sprinter, Run Happy. The Eclipse Award champion was never beaten while sprinting a perfect 7 for 7 in his career. 3-time Grade 1 winning millionaire is now standing in legendary stall number 1 at Claiborne, and his offspring coming to a racetrack near you in the very, very near future. Derby fever, it is upon us. Just 3 months away from that first Saturday in May. Of course, our prep race from the Sam F. Davis still coming up a little bit later on. When do you usually decide on your Derby horse? America's Best Racing asking that question. February and March. April, do you wait till Derby week or do you wait until Derby day? What do you do, Paul LaDuca?
Well, I usually wait somewhat to Derby week, narrow it down to 3 or 4, and then always on Derby day. But you do want to have them narrowed down at least by Derby week.
Make your voice heard. Go ahead and vote at ABR Live in our poll this afternoon. We'll have the results from that a little bit later on in the show. Another cross-country all-stakes Pick 5 this afternoon. It's going to kick off in the 9th at Tampa Bay. Also features racing from New York at Aqueduct and from Oaklawn as well. Includes that Derby prep and the Sam F. Davis. Cross-country Pick 5 will be available every show date in February this month. Visit NYRA.com/cross-country for details. What ticket did you come up with?
I'm telling you right now, this ticket's energized to pay today, or at least put together to pay. And let's go deep to start. We don't want to get knocked out too soon. 1, 3, 4, 7, 8. I do like Her Royal Highness in race number 8 at Aqueduct. Tikin Flute, I think, is the horse to beat in there, but I'm going to use 2 others in there. Family Biz, I always used a 3 in there as well. Race number 10 at Tampa is the Endeavor. Let's be honest. Hawksmoor is going to be really tough with the scratch of Rimska, who ended up running 2nd in a cross-entered race at Gulfstream Park. I'm going to throw in Bonnie Arch as a long shot. I'm taking my shot with the single. And how do you like me now? Toby Keith and a horse that's got a big shot for me in Gordy, Florida at Oaklawn in the King Cotton at 8-1 for Dreamwalking Farms. Then I'm going to go deep in the Sam F. Davis. That's a prep for the Derby. I thought that's a very tough race.
I like that aggressive single from Paul LaDuca. You can play along with the races today as well without risking any of your own money with a showdown contest. Compete with fellow fans on races from Aqueduct and Santa Anita for prizes you're playing for as well, like 50,000 Naira bets, points, and an entry into a sweepstakes for a 2019 Belmont Stakes ticket package. Visit NYRA.com/showdown to get involved. Time now for best bets. Let's check in with Andy Serling. Going to look back at that 7th race.
Well, as you saw in the 7th race, inside speed controlled during the running of the race, and we're seeing that more and more. And the favorite, Tikvin Flu, appears to be the controlling inside speed. I think that's the reason that he's going to be a slight favorite in this race over Heikel. And Heikel's got a lot of hype, and Heikel may be a very talented horse for trainer Kieran McLaughlin. But Tikvin Flu went out for the Asmussen Barn. The Asmussen Barn, which is led by assistant trainer Toby Sheets throughout most of the year in New York. Toby is having a tremendous winter so far, and I thought Tikvin Flu was extremely impressive in his maiden win. It's one thing to just go out there in the front and wire the field. He battled with a horse that finished 5th and ran significantly worse than he had run in prior races, suggesting to me that it was a strong pace, but Tikvin Flu was able to survive that strong pace. And the runner-up in that race, Pulsate, is a talented runner who was probably best if it hadn't been for this first-time starter. Tikvin Flu could wire this field. The job for Manny Franco is to break on top, wire him, and I'm not trying to beat him. He's my best bet today.
Well, my best bet today is going to be in the King Cotton. I really love a horse today, like I talked to you. Gordy, Florida is the horse I'm going to single. Also in my pick 5. And the reason why, this is a horse for Dream Walking and Toby Keith. Kenny Smith is having a good beat. He's 2 for 13 so far. This is a horse that's 6 years old by Cactus Ridge, a horse that Toby did own. He's only run 10 times, so he runs his races fresh. But when he is fresh, he's very tough, and I think he could be the inside speed and try to steal this race. Now, he's 8-1 on the line. I don't think you're going to get 8-1. I think you're going to get somewhere around 9-2.
Again, a race where Paul singled with an 8-1 shot in that cross-country pick 5. Of course, you have Wilbo on the rail. He's trying to win this race back-to-back years. He's going to try and do it off the layoff here this afternoon. You can play another promotion we have going on, the 50-50 promotion. On the Naira Bets app today, you earn a $10 bonus, regardless of whether you win or lose. To earn your bonus, just bet $50 at Aqueduct, $50 at Oaklawn. On the Naira Bets app, you'll earn that $10 bonus in your account. Go to nairabets.com for all the details. Hot Springs, Arkansas, and that's where we have our King Cotton coming up later on this afternoon in race 7, where Wilbo will try and go back-to-back. Currently, track labeled as good, partly cloudy and 40 degrees for today's action. As we take a look at the 5th race here, Maiden Special weight at 1.16 miles, and Real Foot taking some significant support right now. 7-2 morning line at 2-1. Currently, let's check in with Nancy Holthus.
Thanks so much, guys. Chilly skies and temps hovering around the low 40s, but you know what? It's going to take a lot more than that to keep the fans away from Oaklawn Park. A very stellar group of maiden allowance runners, a good field of 9, and a lot of respect going with the number 7 Real Foot, coming from the barn of trainer Will Van Meter. Looked fantastic in the paddock, and that transitioned out onto the main track and was definitely on his toes as he came out and joined the pony, and actually exits 2 prior key races. If you looked at that debut, that 6 furlong at Keeneland in October, the winner Boldor finished 3rd in the Smarty Jones here on opening day, then stretched out to 1.16 miles at Churchill in mid-November, ran a much improved 3rd. Take a look, finished behind Harvey Wallbanger, who we saw here on Fox Sports Saturday at the races score that big upset in the Grade 2 Holy Bull at Gulfstream just last weekend. I did get a chance to talk to his conditioner, Will Van Meter, and he said he's always good for a laugh at the barn, and they compare him to the dude in the Big Lebowski. He's always hamming it up at the barn, and he's a little bit different as he was training at Keeneland at the fall. Since he's gotten to Oaklawn, he started to look around a little bit more, maybe a few more things to look at here in Hot Springs. So that's why they did decide to go to put the blinkers on today. So second time at the distance, also getting the addition of blinkers, and I think that's probably why he's getting a little bit of more support today than we expected at the window. So a lot of support for Real Foot, and also C.J. McMahon, 3rd time in the irons for this very impressive 3-year-old. Greg?
Nancy, thank you very much. I mean, when you saw Harvey Wallbanger in the past performance lines of the 7 Real Foot, you knew with that win in the Holy Bull, this horse was going to take significant support.
Well, yeah, and when you look at this Colts resume, he's definitely the one to beat. He's got the 1.16 race underneath his belt. A lot of these horses don't. He's got a good race. He's getting blinkers on. William Van Meter knows what he's doing. I thought Proverb as a horse, when you look at the rest of this field, was the only horse that's really been getting bet at the windows. All these other horses have been double digits at the window. So I put a little credence into that. But this is a wide open group.
Yeah, Proverb will break from post 2 for Ron Moquette, won at Indiana Grand in his debut. This will be his 3-year-old debut as well. Jim Byers with the call. You're watching Fox Sports Saturday at the races on Fox Sports 2. Here is race 5 from Oaklawn, the 7 Real Foot, the one to beat for William Van Meter.
Zoomer and Quicksilver. Zoomer is in. Quicksilver, the gray, to complete the 9-horse lineup. They're in the gate. And they're off. All out, and here comes Market King up from the outside. Proverb is prominent as well, as Real Foot moves up toward the outside, way on the outside. Quicksilver into that first turn, And then Royal Mesa hugs the rail. Proverb is alongside. Zoomer is 3 wide around that turn. The back 2 are Ravenio. And Jeans and Boots trails the field. Quicksilver with the lead here. And Market King right to the inside. Those 2 vying for the lead. And just a length off of Market King is Real Foot. He's in the clear on the outside. In a good spot here in 3rd. And then 2.5 back. And All Out is settled back in 4th as they advance up the backstretch here. Followed to the outside by Zoomer. Zoomer has an outside path. He's 5th, about 7 lengths from the lead. Royal Mesa is next on the inside. And then Proverb, Ravenio, and Jeans and Boots tries to move up right on the inside. They're past the half-mile marker. And Market King on the inside is up to take a very short lead over Quicksilver. And up on the outside, Real Foot is not letting them get away by any means. And Real Foot 3 wide and challenging. Followed by All Out, who's moved off the rail for clearance, running in 4th. Jeans and Boots up the inside. And now inching up is Royal Mesa from the outside. Some trouble for Ravenio back along the inside as they straighten away in the upper stretch. Market King comes off the turn with the lead here. And here's Royal Mesa gaining up on the outside. Back along the inside, Jeans and Boots is racing in 3rd. Real Foot has dropped out of contention as they come to the final 16th. Market King and John Court. Market King takes to the stretch out, has the lead late. Royal Mesa running a good one. Market King holds on. Royal Mesa was 2nd, Jeans and Boots was 3rd, and Proverb 4th.
D. Wayne Lucas, the coach, Hall of Famer, and Market King with John Court aboard with a victory.
Yeah, he made a move where a lot of horses were getting in trouble. It looked like Ravenio, he got in a little bit of trouble. The 2 Proverb got really backed up, and he ran like his hair was on fire late. But no doubt about it, Market King and Johnny Court, and like you said, the Hall of Famer, D. Wayne Lucas, still knows how to win races.
Gets the job done at 3-1 with a son of Into Mischief. Those prices coming up shortly. We check in at Tampa Bay Downs. And points on the line to get into the starting gate for the Kentucky Oaks with the Suncoast, mile and 40 yards. Coming up, Point of Honor right now, favored on the board at 5-2, trained by George Weaver. 6-length winner. That was on a race that was taken off the turf last time out. We're going to check in now at Tampa Bay Downs with Maggie Wolfendale and Bob Newmeyer.
Craig, thank you. And while the sun has gone away here at Tampa, Bob, it's still clear and we're still having a fast track for this Suncoast. Ungraded, but points on the line for the Kentucky Oaks.
I think this race and the Sam Davis 3-year-olds, we have a filly here and then colts coming up later. It's really all about hope. And that's really the essence of racing, whether you're an owner or a trainer or a jockey. Because a lot of these colts and fillies haven't done that much. They've broken their maiden. They've won once or twice. So we see it develop over years. That's what's fun about it, you know, because these stakes races are really important. We'll know a lot more in a few months.
And as you said, a lot of these horses only having won one race, as Greg mentioned, Point of Honor, broker maiden last time out at First Asking. But I'm interested in another filly who did just that at Gulfstream Park as well, and that is number 4, Lady Caton here. But the big question for her, and while she looks absolutely fantastic in the flesh, she exudes confidence. She's nice and relaxed in her disposition, which bodes well for a horse trying a new distance. Does she get the mile and 40?
Yeah, again, we get back to hope. You hope that she does. But again, it's quite an ask to go from 6 furlongs, one race, to suddenly a mile and 40 in this race. This is a wide open 305. They change overnight, these fillies, and colts for that matter. So Jose Ortiz's honor, that's a good thing.
Yep.
He won his last race with Inspector Lindley. That's a good thing. But, I mean, if I was looking at the odds board, Maggie, I would say that, I hate to cop out, anything is possible here.
This is very true. It's a wide open race. On the outside, we see Sweet Diane as well. Now, she was just cut short in the Hut last time. Ran a winning race, though, in my opinion, and does appear sharp. She will be a part of that early pace.
Jose Ortiz rode her last time. He doesn't this time. He's riding Lady Kate. Interesting. Your horse, Sweet Diane, is the only filly that is added money placed. In other words, ran second. Others have just broken their maidens, so they're very well bred. They spent a lot of money, owners have, for these fillies, and they're hoping that maybe one day they'll win a graded race. Maybe one day they'll be in the Kentucky Oaks on that Friday, the first Friday in May, actually. But that's what's fun about it, again, is that we'll see how they develop over the months that come.
It truly is the most exciting time of year, and a horse that is kind of definitely stepping into the big leagues. Down on the rail, though, taking a little bit of play is Her Royal Highness for trainer Graham Motion. We know he knows how to get a 3-year-old ready to win the Kentucky Derby, obviously with Animal Kingdom several years back. But Her Royal Highness, her races do look slower on paper, but she impressed me physically here, Bob. I do think she is one that's going to relish the more distance that she gets. Was a little nervous in the paddock, but when she got out on the track, she seemed to cool her jets a bit.
Yeah, I do a little work on speed figures, Maggie, and she's as good as anybody in the field. So at a decent price, why not, is what I would say. And I roll on long shots. I didn't have Harvey Wallbanger last week, by the way, at 39
but you wanted a Harvey Wallbanger.
But,
as far as the drink was concerned.
I've had a drink of it, but I haven't exactly bet it, unfortunately. But today it's point of honor for me. I don't like the price, but by Curlin, magnificent breeding, second dam Heavenly Cat, 5 black type brothers and sisters in her family. So we'll see how she fares today.
All right, I'll take the other one with a graded stakes winning mare. That is Lady Kate. Greg, as they are approaching the gate right behind us.
Maggie, Bob, thank you very much. Bob, don't feel bad. Not many had Harvey Wallbanger at 29-1. You know, public very cool on the 9, Sweet Diane.
Yeah.
Tough outside post, and there's a very short run to that first turn.
Yeah, and they're giving a lot of love to the 3, Tappett's Princess. There's a ton of pedigree there. Aftermarket on the bottom side, which is turf, but this horse took to dirt like a duck takes to water. I hate to use that kind of pun, but 9-length winner last time is getting bet heavenly.
10 points to the winner to get into the starting gate for the Kentucky Oaks that first Friday in May. 10-4-2-1 to the top 4 finishers in this race. We will see who collects those points. It is the Suncoast on the road to the Kentucky Oaks. Richard Grunder with the call from Tampa Bay.
A bit reluctant to load. On the board at 10-1. Now she's in. The Gray Filly, Tappett's Princess. Next up. And from the outside will be Sweet Diane. They're at the post. And they're off and running to a perfect start in the 39th running of the Suncoast. Lady Kate is ridden for speed and gunning right for the early lead. Tappett's Princess comes away second. Here comes Jackie. Will go to the turn 3 wide third. Winning Envelope is tucked in down along the inner rail fourth. And the favorite Point of Honor drops back and trails the field about 8 lengths off the pace setter. And the pace setter is Tappett's Princess. The margin now just 3 parts of a length. Lucky Kate. Lady Kate moves to the leader now, well in hand second. Long shot, here comes Jackie. Travels along third. Sweet Diane on the far outside fourth. Winning Envelope is tucked in down along the inner rail. Racing along fifth. Twixt and Shout is alongside her now to be sixth. A length farther back. Her Royal Highness. Up on the outside, there goes Point of Honor. Now making up ground with a wide trip as they leave the half-mile marker and make their way to the far turn. Tappett's Princess gives way, and Lady Kate and Ortiz going on with it. Sweet Diane is now set down for the drive third. 2.5 lengths farther back, Point of Honor. Now she's under an all-out ride, racing along fourth. Twixt and Shout is also gaining ground fifth. With a quarter of a mile to run, Lady Kate and Ortiz, they have the race to win or lose. Sweet Diane draws alongside now to challenge second. Up on the outside, Point of Honor continues to grind away third, and they straighten away and cut to the wire in the Suncoast. Up on the outside, Point of Honor explodes and now moves to the lead. Along the rail is Lady Kate, but Point of Honor in front impressively under Javier Castellano by a widening 3. Lady Kate was second, Sweet Diane third. Winning Envelope flattens out to be fourth. The running time on the board, 1:39.78.
Point of honor, daughter of two-time Horse of the Year, Curlin, for trainer George Weaver. Now a perfect 2 for 2.
Oh, no doubt who was the best here. Great call by Bob. He liked this horse. He told you about the second dam, and she relished the distance. She relished every part of it. And when she hit the top of the lane, she went and exploded, especially at the right-handed urging and took away.
Filly by Curlin out of a Bernardini mare for Eclipse Thoroughbred Partners, trained by George Weaver. Her debut, that was on a race that was taken off the turf at Gulfstream. So you never know, really facing a field that's meant for this surface, and she took it to him. That was a big effort. She earns 10 points to get into the starting gate for the Kentucky Oaks that first Friday in May. We shift gears. We head to Ozone Park, New York. And the Jimmy Wink Field at 7 furlongs for 3-year-olds as we get a look at this field coming up. Hay Call, 5-2 on the morning line right now, but it's Teakvin Flew at even money. Let's check in with Andy Serling.
Yeah, it's interesting to see what these horses do, because you do wonder if anybody in here is thinking of maybe trying to stretch out to the Mile Gotham, or are they more the kind of horse that wants to point to our great sprint series for 3-year-olds that includes 2 grade ones now, the Woody Stevens on Belmont Day and the Alan Jerkins at Saratoga. I think a lot of Heichel, and he's the kind of horse that loves to run inside, so maybe he'll be running on that very strong rail. But Teakvin Flew, to me, the favorite, is much the horse to beat. The only slight fly in the ointment I see possibly is the 7 Gates of Dawn, but he'll have to possibly overcome an outside trip.
Now, Gates of Dawn, that 7-horse to the outside, trained by John Service. He won this race last year with a different style. Of course, he campaigned Smarty Jones to wins in the first 2 legs of the Triple Crown.
Mm-hmm. I like Andy and I are on the same horse. I thought Teakvin Flew was very good. Asmussen usually is better second time out. The money has shown up. Bloom Racing runs a great operation. And if Andy makes a good point, the rail has been so good at the Big A today. If he can break and get down to the rail and try to take this field gate to wire, he's going to be ultra tough.
Oh, Hay Call, the 3, was the morning line favorite. He waits a long time to get in gear. He'll be coming from off the pace. He is a half to Koffel, who was a winner of the Grade 1 Vosburg. Will he get enough speed in front of him to get to the front? It's the Jimmy Wink Field from Aqueduct. John Imbrial with the call.
From the outside, it's Gates of Dawn who's going out for the lead as Teakvin Flew now moves up to challenge. So it's Gates of Dawn with the lead over Teakvin Flew. And on the outside is Direct Order in third. Jovia is gaining ground down at the rail in fourth. It's a break of 4. Back to High Cal. Alongside is Family Biz, and the trailer is Jump for Alex in 7th. The quarter went in 23 seconds. Jovia has come on through now to grab the lead. Jovia by a head. Gates of Dawn is right there on the outside in second, with Teakvin Flew, the favorite, in third. And then comes Direct Order in fourth. High Cal is at the rail in fifth, 4 lengths from the front. The half went in 46 and 3/5 seconds. It's still Jovia, the one to catch here. High Cal is gaining ground down at the rail. Teakvin Flew is asked for more as the field comes off the turn and enters the stretch. And Teakvin Flew is now coming up on the outside of Jovia. High Cal is down at the rail. Then it's Direct Order and Family Biz, and they're moving for the 8th pole. Teakvin Flew, Jovia. Then comes High Cal in third, passing the 16th pole. Jovia trying to pull off the upset here. High Cal with racing room down at the rail. Here he comes. He got there. High Cal getting up in the final strides to win the Jimmy Wink Field. High Cal over Jovia, and then Teakvin Flew, and the time was 1 minute, 25 and 1/5 seconds.
Hay Call always makes it interesting, Andy, from off the pace. This time he goes down to the rail to get the win.
Shown very clearly that he is what we call a rail runner. He's very comfortable running inside of horses. And Rajiv Mirage knew that, and Rajiv Mirage knew that the rail has been gold. So he had a horse that liked being inside, he stuck to the rail, so he rode the best part of the racetrack, and it got the job done for him. But this race was both won and lost by a very odd decision by leading rider Manny Franco, I think is one of the better riders in the country. Now, perhaps Manny was riding to instructions, but why he would take a horse that had cleared the lead, and you're going to see he is clearly in front, and he has the inside position. At this point, he is supposed to continue to go on, stay on that gold rail. But for some reason, Manny eases off the 7. They're not even going fast. And not only does he go to the outside, but it allows the number 2, Jovia, to come up the inside. Manny gave up the absolute best position on Tikvin Flew, and that's what cost him the race. But Rajiv Mirage, he took advantage.
Well, Kieran McLaughlin, Chadwell stable. With High Call, they had Takaffel. They briefly tried Takaffel on the Triple Crown Trail when he was a 3-year-old. They have said with this horse, Big Performance, they may try the same, so stay tuned. Meanwhile, back at Oaklawn, it was Market King, Dwayne Lucas, John Court team up for the win.
Yeah, congratulations, 3-year-old Colt by Intimicious out of the AP Indy Mare. Defined presence, and Johnny Court, like you said, in the irons.
6-1, 3-2 finish at Oaklawn, where we still have the King Cotton to come. As we shift gears, we're going to head out to the West Coast here at Santa Anita, and one of the best fillies in the entire country in her 3-year-old division is coming up next. 59 degrees, partly sunny in Arcadia, California. Main track and turf listed as good, and Bellafina coming up. Her 3-year-old debut, she rolled by 8.5 lengths, and she is 1-9 on the board.
Yeah, and you could see that Simon's handling it with care. Let's start a little bit with 7 furlongs as a 3-year-old, then let's go to a mile now.
Calf Moon Bay starts things off, trained by Jerry Hollendorfer.
Yeah, this one will Joel Rosario be aboard, this daughter of Bodie Meister.
Anea Alrob went by for Doug O'Neill, and here's Bellafina, the big favorite.
Yeah, this daughter of Quality Road, resume speaks for herself.
Mother went against Bellafina last time out, and she was no match.
Yeah, Bob Baffert's going to put the blinkers on, and I mean, she has maybe a big shot to try to wire this field.
And Tomlin rounds things out here for Steve Speck.
Yeah, you're going to have to do a lot to pick up 10 lengths to 13 lengths on Bellafina.
Our Santa Anita coverage is brought to you by the California Thoroughbred Breeders Association. It pays to be Calbred. For more information, please visit ctba.com. So coming up on the Grade 2 Las Virgenes and Bellafina back in action, let's check in with Michelle Yu.
Guys, horses making their way here to the gate for the Las Virgenes. I think the horse with all the upside, really, if you're looking to beat the 1-9 favorite, is Anaya Alrob for Doug O'Neill. What I talked to him about was this filly. Her most recent works, he's actually taken her pacifier blinkers off. You'll see as she gets a little bit closer what those are. They're actually screens attached to the blinker, and you use it for horses that are a little green or mentally immature or, a little unwilling to go forward. And Doug has said she has seen such mental forwardness from her that he actually considered taking these off today, but he is going to go ahead and keep all of her equipment in place for this start. But in the mornings, I have just really seen her go forward in leaps and bounds. So while Bellafina is still, I feel like, the marker point for how good you want these fillies to be, I like to see a horse with some upside, and I think that could be Anya Alrob. I also spoke to Bob Baffert about Mother. She gets the blinkers back on today, and she actually has worn them in her last 2 works. Although they look relatively slow on paper, she did outwork some good horses, including Dream Tree. And I asked Bob about it, why putting them back on today, and he says he just likes her better with the blinkers on. He thinks she works better. He thinks she has a little bit more focus as well. As far as the favorite goes, Bellafina, this is a filly that last year was almost a little gangly. You could see she had great body to grow into, and this year she has. She has been working lights out. She has trained very well. She came over here and schooled on tilt yesterday, but right now looking just picture perfect. We'll hand it back to you guys for the rest of the load.
Michelle, thank you very much. So Bellafina, if you thought that she was just a superstar 2-year-old and she would be done, not quite. Bellafina came back and won by 8.5 lengths in the Santa Ynez. Beat Mother. Tomlin, who she'll face again here coming up this afternoon in the Grade 2 Las Virgenes. Again, points on the line in this race as well for the Kentucky Oaks, and one of the top 3-year-old fillies in the country. Trying to go back-to-back to kick off her 3-year-old campaign, Bellafina from Post 3. Here's Frank Miramati.
in the Las Virgenes. Tomlin is very quick from the blocks and goes right to the front. Mother, Bellafina is also hustled right in there. Anaya Al-Rab, 4 across the track, and Calf Moon Bay is the early trailer. Bellafina takes the initiative around the first turn, opens up a length. Mother moves into second. Anaya Al-Rab is third. Tomlin fourth, now 2.5 off Bellafina, and another 2 back to Calf Moon Bay. Onto the backstretch they go. And it's Bellafina getting some heat from Mother, who's a neck back second. Anaya Al-Rab is a joint third on the inside of Tomlin, and it's another 4 to Calf Moon Bay. They're heading to the half-mile pole, and Bellafina maintains a half-length lead on Mother. Anaya Al-Rab and Tomlin still right together, 3 lengths off Bellafina, and still another 3 or 4 back to Calf Moon Bay. Heading to the 3/8 pole, Bellafina's been prominent every step of the way. Mother just a head back second. And Anaya Al-Rab coming after them now. Tomlin losing ground, and Calf Moon Bay. Approaching the quarter pole, Bellafina, Mother, Anaya Al-Rab, Calf Moon Bay. They're at the top of the stretch, and Bellafina now gets her cue. Anaya Al-Rab is finishing well. Calf Moon Bay on the outside. Mother. It's Bellafina by 1.5 lengths. Anaya Al-Rab running the race of her life, trying to get to Bellafina. Bellafina fully extended. Anaya Al-Rab on the outside. Bellafina wins the Las Virgenes. 3/4 of a length. Anaya Al-Rab was a solid second today. Then Calf Moon Bay and Mother.
Bellafina tested but prevails, and she now moves to the top of the class in the 3-year-old filly division. 32 points is best in all the country to get into that starting gate for the Kentucky Oaks.
Well, that's how you define class with that kind of race. I understand that she was 1-9, but Mother with the blinkers on and Hall of Fame trainer Bob Baffert put the screws to her, and in mid-stretch, it looked like the 2 was going to get on by. But champions like this, Andy, they don't let them get by. You could tell she was never going to let it happen.
Well, I'm not sure she's a champion, but she's a very nice racehorse. I got to tell you, that would not be what you call winning like a 1-9 shot should. Bellafina is a very, very good filly, no doubt about it. But she does have that race, the Breeders' Cup, and she's been flawless in California. This was not an easy win for her, though. It's interesting. They let her get to the front. Nobody really wanted to run with her early, particularly Mother, or took it to her later in the race. And I can't even pronounce the runner-up's name. I won't even try. Thought she ran well in defeat here. The winner was best, but that was not the easy victory, at least I know I expected to see, and it opens things up going forward.
Bellafina, 10 more points, and now the leader in terms of points in that 3-year-old filly division. Back-to-back graded stakes victories to kick off her 3-year-old campaign. We're going to take a break in the action. Still to come, Triple Crown Trail continues from Tampa Bay Downs, where 5-star General tries to make it 3 straight trips to the winner's circle in his 3-year-old debut.
Grade 1 winner Lee traveled the world competing against the best of his generation. A graded stakes winner on both dirt and turf, he set a new track record in the Grade 1 Don Handicap and retired with earnings of more than $2.3 million. With yearlings bringing up to $650,000 and his first crop of 2-year-olds hitting the track, the sky's the limit for this promising young stallion. Lee, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Love Acres Ranch, proudly standing multiple Grade 1 winner Stay Thirsty, the leading California sire by earnings whose first 2 crops of racing age are impressing, including Grade 1 winner Mind Control.
Mucho on the outside is second best to Mind Control in the hopeful.
As well as the lightning fast Coal Front, Maryland Juvenile Futurity winner Always Mining, and Argentinian superstar Golden Leaf. Stay Thirsty, the only son of Bernardini standing in California, and introducing Smoke'em, son of Union Rags, now standing at Love Acres Ranch. For the love of the game, it pays to be Calbred.
Bet the horses anywhere, anytime with Naira Bets.
Rushes out of there to take the lead.
It's easy on your computer or NyraBets app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates.
Off the turn with a length and a half lead.
Sign up now. Get a $200 new member sign-up bonus. Use promo code LIVE. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NyraBets.com.
Fox Sports Saturday at the races on Fox Sports 2 is brought to you in part by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual, unusually well. The birthplace of more than 75 champions and 22 members of the National Racing Museum's Hall of Fame were foaled or raised at historic Claiborne Farm. Back at Tampa Bay Downs in race 9, it was Point of Honor coming up with the victory in the Suncoast.
Yeah, congratulations to the son of Curlin and the Bernardini mare, Zayana, Eclipse Thoroughbred Partners, and Javier Castellano, $7. The public knew it, so did Bob and Andy.
Graded stakes action coming up next at Tampa Bay with the Lambholm South Endeavor, grade 3 at 1 mile and 1/16 on the turf. Let's send it out to Maggie Wolfendale.
Weaver of Point of Honor, and George, undefeated in her young career so far, took all the money last time out at Gulfstream in her maiden debut. Has she pointed to the fact that she is a very talented filly from day one?
You know, this filly was always very professional in everything she did, but she never really broke the stopwatch. You know, I didn't know how good she was, but I told Mr. Conley every time I talked to him, I said, this filly, I know she's not like working super fast, but I just have a feeling that when she puts it all together that she's going to be very nice for us. So I was glad to see that it's coming true.
And is that kind of indicative of a filly who wants to proverbially run all day? I mean, it seems as though the further she goes, the better she becomes.
Well, you know, it's hard to get that combination of, you know, a turn of foot and being able to route on the dirt, and she's got it. You know, she's very push button and professional in what she does, and you know, I think the sky's the limit for her.
Well, George, congratulations, 10 points to Kentucky Oaks. Best of luck.
Thank you.
In the Jimmy Winkfield, we told you, hey, call makes you wait to get to that wire. Did it again, but got the victory. Now back-to-back wins. Up the fence for Kieran McLaughlin. Shadwell stable with Rajiv Mirage in the irons.
Well, I know Andy went on a little rant after the race. I couldn't agree with him more. Jockey, I thought Manuel Franco made a bad decision, but don't take anything away for Rajiv Mirage, call, and Shadwell stable. Tahar out of Distorted Humor Mare, Sabla.
Back at Santa Anita in the Grade 2 Las Virgenes, Bellafina now a perfect 2 for 2 in her 3-year-old campaign. Let's go to Michelle Yu.
Guys, I'm joined here by Simon Callahan, trainer of Bellafina. Simon, last time I felt like there was such excitement in the winner's circle, lots of jumping up and down. Today, a little bit more of a moment for you guys?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, when you're 1 to 9, you've just got to do what you've got to do. You know, I think they went pretty legit fractions in a slightly sticky track, and, you know, maybe it blunted her sort of finish a little bit. But no, she did what she had to do, and great to get the win.
We've seen a lot of horses come from behind today. Did you feel worried about that at all when she's out there on the front?
A little bit, because I left it to Flavian, because that's what I've been feeling all day, is probably playing to horses that are closing. So I think we've maybe won despite the bias, and, you know, I think that's maybe why that horse was finishing so well at the end.
So we're going to have a big celebration tonight.
Yeah, no, we'll enjoy it, take a deep breath, and, you know, it's never easy, so good to get the win.
Congratulations.
Great, thank you.
Bellafina delivers here as the favorite.
Well, I don't think they would get this tempted, but Bellafina is one of 4 fillies to be nominated to the Triple Crown.
Yeah, listen, we're not past that point anymore. We've obviously realized that fillies can beat the boys. Like, over in Europe, they've been doing it for years. We're starting to figure it out more and more as we get a little bit older and older and wiser. But yeah, she's getting better. And listen, they didn't pay a lot of money for her for that. She's 5 for 7 now. She's got almost $800,000 in the bank. Simon Callahan knows how to prepare a horse. Let's not forget he had a horse that run in the money in the Kentucky Derby, so he knows exactly what he's doing. Run a good second.
Well, she had to put away a couple of different challengers in this race. So considering that, yeah, that was very impressive from Bellafina. Flavian Pratt on board for that win. Gutty effort this afternoon. She earns 10 points for the Kentucky Oaks. She now has 32 points to move to the top of the list. Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies winner Jaywalk for John Service, second on that list with 30 points.
Yeah, and usually, you know, obviously the Kentucky Oaks points will be a little bit less than the Derby points, but around 20, I would say you're in automatically. So there you look at Bellafina all the way to the top, and right now your favorite.
John Service, by the way, he's the only trainer in history to win a Derby and an Oaks with only a single starter in each of those races. Of course, he won with Catherine Sophia in the Oaks back in 2016.
That's some good trivia, yeah.
Get him in the race. He gets it done, right? Grade 3, Lambholm South Endeavor is up next from Tampa. Race 10, mile and a 16th. On the turf, and big scratch, obviously, in this race. Rimska ran in the Sewanee River at Gulfstream, actually beat in that race. With Rimska out, now this is wide open.
It is wide open, right? And does Hawksmoor finally take advantage? 0 for 6 this year. Whenever he gets a fast track, he is a tiny bit better, or she is a tiny bit better. She got beat by Cadera. Sister Charlie, who would be an ultra big-time favorite in here. So maybe she's finally facing a field that she can beat. Her one win was at 1.25 miles. Does she want a longer distance? That's the worry. If you're backing her and even money, the other people are backing Get Explicit at 7-2. Rimsko was going to be the one to beat in here, you know, and Hawksmoor was going to be probably your second choice, or they would have battle for favoritism, but the 6 is going to be tough in here.
Short price at even money on a 6-year-old mare now, who is certainly, she's not the same as she has been, but she is talented. Millionaire in her own right, as we send it out to Maggie Wolfendale and Bob Newmeyer.
Thank you, Greg. And the Endeavor field is warming up here on the track. And we'll start with the prohibitive favorite. That is Hawksmoor, Bob. She is coming back off a little bit of a layoff for No Delacour, but she has faced much better horses in her previous efforts. So it's been a long time since she found the winner's circle.
Stunningly low price. At last check, even money will have the lead. Has not run since October. Did not win last year. This is what we call, Maggie, a money burner. A very talented horse, no doubt. The fans love her, no doubt about it. They bet her to the gills. She doesn't win. She's got a good record, but she's going to be on the lead. Javier Castellano, who won the last race, is the jockey here. So that's my selection, trying to make it 2 for 2. But I don't know, money burner, maybe.
That is for sure. We'll see if her class prevails here and if she's ready. She did look ready to me, and the thing is, she is a horse who tends to get sharp, and she was kind of her subdued sharpness. So I like the fact she's conserving some energy. But the second choice as of now is the newly turned 4-year-old. That's Get Explicit. Now, at the tail end of her 3-year-old year, she was getting good for trainer Barbara Minchell. I think she's one, if she takes the proverbial step forward, her numbers make her just as competitive against Hawksmoor.
I think the top 3 fillies and mares in this race, Maggie, have different styles. Hawksmoor on or near the lead. Bonnie Arch, close to the pace. Get Explicit will be last. So look for that. Look for Hawksmoor to be up front. Look for Bonnie to be close. Look for Get Explicit to be far back. But again, all 3 of them are fresh, as we say.
Right.
These aren't war horses. They don't run 100 times a year. I mean, like Seabiscuit and crazy stuff like that. So they're rested.
Yeah.
So we'll see how they do.
Yeah, I think Get Explicit, she has every right to step forward, and I like her running style because there does feel as though there's some horses who will be out there winging it proverbially with Hawksmoor. But you mentioned Bonnie Arch. I thought she looked absolutely fantastic in the flesh. She's very sharp, but a horse coming off of a very long layoff is number 9 in here. That is Goodyear for Roses. For Connections that privately purchased this mare, a 7-year-old coming back. What do you make of her?
I have no idea, to be honest with you.
Me neither.
You know, my thought is that she was bought as a broodmare because she has been in Grade 1 races, but has been off the entire year. So perhaps she went to the farm as a broodmare and didn't quite make it as it goes. So let's go back and race. We'll see. But has not run since 2017, which is a lifetime for horses. So we'll see. The trainer, I don't know too much about. They're unheralded people. We'll see how they fare.
And haven't seen her since the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf, but we have seen one recently. That is number 4, Monte Crista. The blinkers go on here, Andy. What do you like about her?
I think Monte Cristo's an interesting horse. Hawksmoor was clearly not as good last year as she was the time before that. And while she is the controlling speed, she's clearly the one to beat. But the number 4 Monte Cristo appeared to be improving at Saratoga. Now, she had a very good trip when she won the Risk Averse, but still an improving horse. Then she catches a total bog, soft course at Belmont and doesn't handle it at all. When she came back at Gulfstream Park in her 4-year-old debut, she didn't break at all, and she got caught wide, and she's a speed type that didn't get out of the gate, so she was behind the 8 ball from the start. In this race, I hope she breaks well, obviously, and maybe she can sit behind Hawksmoor and be the one that picks her up. I think she's an interesting long shot with a chance at the upset.
All right, so going to the gate for the Lamb South Grade 3 Endeavor, and the public not scared away by the fact that it's been a long time since the 6 Hawksmoor has won. Obviously, speed is her game. You know me, Paul, though. I like speed as well with that equipment change on the rail, and she's pretty lucky to win. I don't know if she's good enough to win this race, but she has sprint speed, so if nothing else, she's going to be putting heat and make it more difficult on Hawksmoor.
Well, maybe she can, yeah, with taking the blinkers off, and sometimes that will dull the speed, but last time she ran very well off a little bit of a left, and it seems like Fergal Lynch maybe has the key to the engine now, that she gave her a good ride. And in 27-1, I'm not going to argue with you. Bob and Maggie brought up Bonnie Arch, who I thought was a sneaky little horse in there, has run some good races at Ellis Park and ran a good race at Tampa. But again, when you look at the body of the field and you look at the numbers, Hawksmoor does stick out. Now, the 4, Monte Cristo, putting the blinkers on, that could be the other horse in here, too. If you look at the first race, the maiden score, and some of the other scores, the race at Saratoga, the Risk Averse was pretty good, and the horse did not break that good. If she can get out of the gate, 11-1 is not awful.
Yeah, that is a nice price. Talking about the 4, Monte Cristo, she is 12-1, right at her morning line. And then, of course, Maggie touched on the 2 a little bit in here for Barbara Minshaw. That's Get Explicit. She's making her 4-year-old debut. See if she takes another step forward. But she is multiple graded stakes place runner.
Yeah, and you love horses that run 3 good races over 3 racetracks, Maggie. A good race at Woodbine, good race at Keeneland, and her last race at Churchill Downs.
Let's go back to Maggie.
Exactly, Paul. And I just like when a 3-year-old filly gets good at the tail end of that year, because that usually indicates they're going to step forward. I thought she looked pretty good in the paddock, honestly. I wish she looked better considering how much I like her on paper, but a filly that I was not enthralled with was number 5, Conquest Hard Candy, who, albeit is a big price in here, she does pick up Jose Ortiz. I thought her last race looks much better than what it does on paper, but during the summertime when she was running against mostly New York breds, I thought Jimmy Ryerson had her looking absolutely fantastic, the best I've ever seen her in her career, and now it's kind of subsided. She's kind of lost a bit of that muscle mass, just doesn't look as strong as what she did during the summer months, and I'm just kind of wondering if her form might go that way as well as they are approaching the gate for this endeavor. We'll throw it back up to you, Greg.
Maggie, thank you. Yeah, Conquest Hard Candy, the 5, she used to be a front runner as well. We've not seen that from her the last few starts.
No, 1 for 14 last years, and Maggie hit the nail on the head. You just don't know really what you're getting with this mare, right? But do they go to the front end? Yeah, I guess so. I would think that's what they have to use, some of their speed. This Monte Cristo. We'll see what happens. Someone's going to have to challenge Hawksmoor, because just the class of Hawksmoor, if they let her walk on the front end, she should be talented enough to beat this group.
And Maggie brought up the 9 Goodyear for Roses, 7-year-old mare. We have not seen her in 15 months. Long layoff, now with a new barn. Last time she raced was in the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf when she was 30-1 back at Del Mar.
Yeah. And
2017.
Yeah, 2017. Another horse we've sort of left out is the 11 Bombshell. Getting better a little bit. I get it because of the scratches, but she's another horse that does have some tactical speed.
So continuing to load up here, Grade 3 Lamb South Endeavor and Hawksmoor breaking from post 6. The one to beat here in her 6-year-old debut. Let's go to Richard Grunder for the call.
Monte Cristo will be the next to move in line. She steps in. 2 more to go. Conquest Hard Candy. Ortiz looks for 2 stakes on the day. And from the outside, Bombshell. She's in. They're at the post. And they're off and running in perfect order for the 20th running of the Endeavor. Conquest Hard Candy is away early, and there goes Bonnie Arch. Now moving up to gain the early lead. Down along the rail, She's Pretty Lucky. Up on the far outside, Bombshell will try to cross over. Monte Krista right there in the mix from between horses. And the last horse away is Street with No Name. As they make the charge to the clubhouse turn, that's Goodyear for Roses. Along the rail now with the lead and the margin 2.5. Down along the inner rail, She's Pretty Lucky. With a ground-saving trip, Conquest Hard Candy now moves up to challenge. A length and a half farther back, Get Explicit tips out to the 2-path. Then it's 1 length farther back to the favorite, Hawksmoor, saving ground down along the inner rail. From between horses, Monte Krista with blinkers on today. 2.5 lengths farther back to Goodyear for Roses. A length and a half farther back to Viva Vegas, and the trailer is A Street with No Name as they continue their journey up the backstretch. Bonnie Arch and Gallardo take them along now on the lead, 3 parts of a length. Card Quest Hard Candy on the outside, racing along second. Get Explicit is there toward the rail now. Third, Bombshell is set down for the drive on the outside. Fourth, Monte Krista is now racing along fifth as they approach the quarter-mile pole. From the outside, Conquest Hard Candy strikes to the lead. Get Explicit tips out and now going after the leader second. Bonnie Arch is there toward the rail now, racing along third as they straighten away in the run to the wire. It's Conquest Hard Candy still in front. Here's Hawksmoor charging down the center of the racetrack, and way out on the outside, Viva Vegas. The gray horse is absolutely flying. Hawksmoor to take it by a diminishing 3 parts of a length. Viva Vegas flies on to be second, and running time on the board, 140.83.
Hawksmoor, maybe not the way that we thought she'd be effective trying to win this race. She comes from off the pace to get the win in her 6-year-old debut.
And that's why Javier Castellano is a Hall of Famer. That's why there's no panic in guys like him. Guys that show up to the racetrack and just can get it done. He's like the Antonio Browns and the Tom Brady's. It just happens. Horse didn't break on his feet. I don't think Hawksmoor's ever been that far back, and she was able to navigate, and he was able to navigate a good trip, and she was able to run these down pretty easily.
Big effort in her 6-year-old debut. Do not write this mare off just yet. She still has plenty of talent as she collects a Grade 3 victory in her 2019 debut. At New York, Jimmy Winkfield of the books. Still more to come. We have race 9 ahead in New York bred $30,000 Maiden Fleming event. 3/4 of a mile the distance. I really thought the 8 Central, the 9 Annette's Humor was a 2-horse race between these two.
Yeah, it was on paper, right? And now D Sis the 4 is taking money just because I think she has a little pace in here. And Andy was mentioning, we've been mentioning, listen, pace and the rail could be good, so that could make her dangerous.
Well, Andy Serling's going to go with the 8 Central for James Ferraro. Andy?
No, I agree. I think they are the 2 horses, Greg. Central, you have to believe that Raylu Gutierrez, who has 3 wins early in the card, will be aggressive and try to get outfoot Annette's Humor for the lead. The one that gets the lead and clears is a pretty likely winner. It is worth mentioning the 4 D Sis. I don't particularly love her in here, but she has faced a sloppy and muddy sealed track in her last 2, and I don't think she handled them. So getting a fast track today could help D Sis, and maybe that makes her the 3rd possible horse in the race, guys.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with that.
Yeah, I'm with you. She could be the quick of the quick in here.
You're watching Fox Sports Saturday on the races here on Fox Sports 2. It is the nightcap, race 9 from Aqueduct, and on the mic, our good friend and colleague Anthony Stabile, who grew up going to the races on the NYRA circuit, the Big A, with the call here from the nightcap from New York.
They're in the gate. And they're off. D Sis straight out to the lead. A hustling Manny Franco's trying to get Annette's Humor going as well. To the inside, Boosted Ego is showing some speed. Minute Mouse is back in 4th. Carolicious moving up on the outside in 5th. Central is 6th. Emmy Nose 7th. The trailer is Coco Bella. D Sis on the front end, chased by Boosted Ego between horses. The favorite, Annette's Humor, is on the outside through a quarter and 23 seconds flat. Then we come back to Carolicious in fourth, about 4 lengths to Central, who's moving up along the inside in fifth. Minute Mouse is dropping back, passed by Emmy Nose. The trailer is still Coco Bella D. Sis, rambling along on the front end. She's a length and a half to the good of the duo of Boosted Ego and Annette's Humor. Carolicious, Rajiv Mirage moving her up on the outside. Central's riding the rail in fifth. Far outside, we come to Emmy Nose. They turn for home, 48 and 1 to the half. D. Sis trying to steal it on the front end under Mike Luzzy. Central, her only challenger as they come through deep stretch. D-Sis trying to hold off the oncoming Central. D-Sis a length and a half. Central the only chance. D-Sis, Central, here's the line. That's a photo finish. Was it D-Sis wire to wire on the inside, or did Central get her? Dead tight on the line. Final time for the 6 furlongs, 1:14 and 3.
Photo finish to close out the card at Aqueduct. Andy, I don't know.
No, either. And I got to tell you, these were great rides by both the first 2 finishers, whomever they are. Mike Luzzy aggressively getting the number 4 D-Sis to the lead and the rail, giving her her best chance. But you watch Raylu Gutierrez. He couldn't get the lead, but what did he do? He went right to the rail on the backstretch of the 8 Central. So he stayed on the good part of the racetrack, cut the cord on the inside, and then he had to angle out in the stretch. Whoever won this race benefited from a great ride, and frankly, whoever lost benefited from a great ride. A terrific horse race. The inside gets favored, guys, but I wondered if the 8 might have gotten up right at the wire, but Paul LaDuca calls a photo a lot better than I do.
Wow, I'm looking at this, and I keep looking over and over, and I'll tell you what, I don't know who gets the best of the bob, Andy, but this could be very well a heater. I'm physically, maybe the outside horse was in front, and the illusion tiny bit is the inside will get a little bit of advantage. I'm looking at it again. I'm telling you right now, I am going to go on a limb and call this a heater because it is so darn close. It is really tough to close.
Eyes in the business, Paul LaDuca. You are rarely
There's
wrong
an inquiry,
on these.
by the way, so.
Yeah, hold your tickets here. We have inquiry. We're not sure who it's involving. There was some bumping in the stretch.
Yes.
Certainly. So we're going to take another look at that as well. D-Sis, by the way, the 4 went off at 4-1. The 8 Central went off at 3-1. So a lot to sort through here.
Wow,
not just who won the race.
The 4 swapped to her wrong lead late. It might have cost her. They didn't really come home that fast in 1:14 and change.
I wonder.
I tell you what, this is inches.
I wonder if the inquiry involves the number 8 horse drifting a little bit off the rail and perhaps interfering with the 1.
A little bit, maybe.
I'm going to guess if that's it, that they're going to look at it, as they should, but dismiss it. I don't think it really affected things. The 1 was backing up. But I'm telling you, Paul, I'm with you. This one feels like it very well may be a dead heat. I mean, it's amazing watching how close this was. And I just can't say enough about the apprentice Raylu Gutierrez. I know our viewers probably aren't that familiar. And there it is, guys, a dead heat. Paul, pretty good call there, buddy. Raylu Gutierrez is a rider who gets his 4th win aboard the 8 today, and Raylu now wins his 4th today. This is an apprentice that will lose his bug sometime in the next few months, but you'll be hearing about him as a journeyman as well. This kid can ride, he's got the right mind, but it's also nice to see the old pro, Mike Luzzy, share the win as well.
Do we have odds anywhere where we can call dead heats?
That is bold out of you, calling a dead heat and you get it right. I don't think I've ever heard you miss one of these. That was incredible. The 4 D-Sis, the 8 Central, dead heat for the win. Wow. Would have been more impressive if you called it right off the wire.
Well, Andy's right. Both of them didn't deserve to lose. I'm glad they dead heated. They really did.
And there was some bumping behind with a 3rd place finisher. That may have been what that inquiry is about. Yeah. Try and find that out for you when we get back from a short timeout. Coming up, Todd Pletcher won his first Kentucky Derby with Super Saver, a son of that sire. So Alive will try and give Pletcher a 7th win in the Sam F. Davis as we continue along the road to the Kentucky Derby when we come back. Stay tuned.
Coming on strong. Coming on.
Minute to Stardom leaves them all behind with an impressive-looking run.
Coming on.
Testing 1-2 is all alone. She comes to the 16th pole, and this one is all over but the crying. At the 16th pole, this is all Rockin' Sunday Mash.
My love for you coming on strong.
He's bred to lead. His name is Commissioner.
Elliot, I can't wait to see the Commissioner foals run this year. He was always one of the best foals we had. He was always one of the best yearlings we had. He was a maiden special weight winner at 2 at Saratoga. He went on to be a multiple graded stakes winner, and he's the last classic place son of AP Indy.
Let me tell you, they looked the part at the sale. He's by AP Indy. He's got a bottom side to boot. He's got every chance. I'm really excited about this crop.
Fox Sports Saturday at the races on Fox Sports 2 is brought to you in part by America's Best Racing, the go-to site covering sport and lifestyle. Visit americasbestracing.net today. Back at Tampa Bay in the Lamb South Endeavor Grade 3, it was Hawksmoor, 6-year-old debut, had not won since she was a 4-year-old. Gets back in the winner's circle and does so with different tactics.
Yeah, she did. It was all class. And listen, it's the first time ever at Tampa. And this daughter for Lyle Stables and Javier Castellano, he did a great job of not panicking on a horse that's basically never been in the back of the pack like she was today, but she liked it.
By the way, that inquiry at Aqueduct not involving the dead heat with those two runners. It was involving your third-place finisher who was 87-1. So we'll keep you posted on that. Let's take a look at the Naira Bets cross-country Pick 5 follow-along. 54,000 plus in the pool. It was formful last week, and then we got to our fourth leg of the sequence.
All you need is about 10-1 or 15-1 or over, so we're still got 2 races left to catch your price.
RV Wallbanger shook things up at 29-1 in the Holy Bull last week. As you get a quick look at that board in New York, third place finisher, that 6-horse, Emmy Knows. Inquiry sign up for bumping with the 9-horse a little bit. Let's get back out to Tampa and check in with Maggie Wolfendale.
Here with winning conditioner Hawksmoor in today's Endeavor, Arnaud Delacour. Arnaud, it's been a long time since she visited the winner's circle, but boy, she was good today. Class prevailed.
Yes, no, she was feeling very well. Obviously, we tried to fresh her up a little bit after, she didn't run that many times last year, but she had some hard races. So the strategy was try to fresh her up and, run that race here at home where she can train and paddock scoot and all that kind of stuff. I thought that she was very good in the post-pad, very relaxed compared to what she is usually, and she won a great race.
Yeah, you could see her. She just had her mind on business today and hopefully looking for another win here on the upcoming Sam Davis with 5-star General. It's going to be his first start around 2 turns. How is he doing heading into this one?
He's doing very well. He's been breezing all winter here. It seems to like the track. There's always a question mark when you stretch a little bit, and but he did it nicely enough when he ran an Aqueduct. I know the numbers are probably not that high, but it was a very slow track that day. You know how it can get. So I hope that he can stretch and perform very well today.
Well, Arnaud, hopefully the ball keeps rolling for you. Best of luck, but congratulations here with Hawksmoor.
Thank you very much.
Hawksmoor in today's Endeavor.
Well, she was impressive back in New York. Paula Duca called it for us. It was a dead heat. The 4D Sis and the 8 in here, Central. We did have an inquiry involving the 3rd and 4th place finishers, but there was no change.
Yeah, make sure you look at your tickets. You had the 4 and the 8 on the back end of that. 50-cent pick 4, like you said. Not much, $27, but listen, as long as you had the 4 in the end and the backside, it's $54.
Aqueduct in the books is D. Sis and Central. Dead heat for the victory in the nightcap. We're going to take a break. Still ahead, Nick's Go gave his trainer his first ever Grade 1 win. Can he get him his first Kentucky Derby starter? That quest continues next in the Sam F. Davis.
I was hoping when we entered this horse in the sale that I would come up here and be in My Name's Happy and have the first run happy that hit it out of the park. We're ecstatic about it.
He's just a natural athlete. He's got length. He's got good substance to him. He's very correct. He's got a very free, effortless walk. Very intelligent, good mind. This is the horse we brought here to make a sound.
Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm. Kentucky Derby winner Orb. On the track, his runners have scored on both dirt and turf, including multiple stakes winner Autumn Warrior, stakes performers Scrapper and Malocchio, and Sipacan Harbor, winner of the Grade 1 Spinaway Stakes at Saratoga. In the sales ring, his 2-year-olds have fetched prices up to $1.25 million and multiple yearlings up to $1 million. Classic winner, classic pedigree, or standing at Claiborne Farm.
Coming on strong. Coming home.
Minute to Stardom leaves them all behind with an impressive-looking run.
Coming on.
Testing 1-2 is all alone. She comes to the 16th pole, and this one is all over but the crying.
At the 16th pole, this is all Rockin' Sunday Mash.
My love for you. Coming on strong.
They're off. Bet the horses anywhere, anytime with Naira Bets. Rushes out of there to take the lead. It's easy on your computer or Naira Bets app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now. Get a $200 new member sign-up bonus. Use promo code LIVE. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NairaBets.com.
Left him up, yeah.
What did I try?
Head over to americasbestracing.net for the Bourbon Bets and Stories contest. You and a guest could win a VIP experience in New Orleans for Louisiana Derby weekend with airfare, hotel, entertainment, and seats at the fairgrounds included. You also get some money to bet with a gift from Old Smoke Clothing Company and a Christine A. Moore Millinery. So check out americasbestracing.net right now to sign up for free. We continue along here on Fox Sports Saturday at the races on Fox Sports 2 with a stakes race from Oaklawn here in the 7th. 6-furlong sprint into King Cotton and Wilbo, the defending champ for trainer Chris Hartman. Taking a look at on the screen right there. We'll try and go back-to-back in this race as we get a quick look at the odds here.
Yeah, and right now, you know, he's the one to beat. The 5, also Heartwood for Jimmy Chapman, does have a race over this strip. And it was a good race, and right now, battling for favoritism.
For more, let's head out to Hot Springs, Arkansas, and check in with Nancy Holthus.
Guys, I'm here with trainer Jim Chapman, who sends out the number 5 Heartwood. David Cohen getting the mount. Now, Jimmy, I'm kind of thinking that the slogan or the motto for this horse's campaign is "Have Horse Will Travel." 8 different tracks, 8 different jockeys. What made the decision to come here to contest the King Cotton?
Oh, it just set up good with the timing of his last race. We gave him a little bit of a break, and I got a good partner that lets me take shots, and we're here.
So I know that David Cohen actually got a chance to get on him and give him a little jaunt around the track a couple of days ago, and he walked the shed row yesterday under tack. What were the instructions that David got prior to legging up here today?
The main thing with him is just kind of letting him be free running and not get in traffic and not run up on horses, so we'll just let him break, and I just told him to have a good trip.
Well, best of luck to you, and we'll see if you can get the job done.
Thank you.
Thank you. Guys?
Well, James Chapman and company actually tried to sell this horse, failed to meet his reserve at Keeneland's January Horses of All Ages sales. He was entered as a racing and stallion prospect, so changed the plan, back here instead. That last race, the Mr. Prospector, he hit the board despite running with a foot bruise that day.
Yeah, and listen, he's had so many different riders, I don't think it matters. Ortiz, Franco, he's had about 9 riders in his last 12 mounts, so I don't think it really matters at all. I'm looking for a little Toby Keith magic with Gordy, Florida, and you see Nancy and Andy land on Heartwood.
It is the King Cotton from Oaklawn. Jim Byers with the call. You're watching Fox Sports Saturday at the races.
Track fast. They're all in line. Looks like Wilbo a little fractious in the gate. They're off. And Gordy, Florida, flashing good speed here. Wilbo right up the inside. Ballandine, AM, Milky Way, and Hartwood. Hartwood the gray moving up. Now a four-way battle for the lead. Gordy, Florida with the lead by a half length. Hartwood right there. AM, Milky Way third. Ballandine to the outside fourth. Wilbo on the inside. Bourbon Cowboy is alongside Wilbo. Then a gap of about 2 lengths to Toasting Master. Control Stake is trailing the field. They arrive at the far turn. Gordy, Florida takes him to the far turn. Hartwood sits right outside of him in the clear, and a very close second, followed to the extreme outside by Ballandine and Bourbon Cowboy from Bettine. Wilbo awaits clear sailing. He's right on the inside in that barrage of 3 behind what are now essentially dueling leaders. Then Toasting Master to the far outside, AM Milky Way and Control Stake straightening away at the top of the stretch. Here comes the light gray Hartwood challenging Gordy, Florida, who tries to fight back on the inside. Then Bourbon Cowboy. Wilbo is yet to get a clear run here, and as they come to the finish, it is Hartwood and Gordy, Florida on the inside. Hartwood, Gordy, Florida, a late bid here from Control Stake, but Hartwood takes the King Cotton, and he does it under David Cohen.
Hartwood with the hard-earned victory here in his 5-year-old debut for trainer Jimmy Chapman.
Yeah, good job here by David Cohen. Always staying on the horse. I like Gordy, Florida, who got all I wanted. At 8-1, he got the front end, but the big gray just wore him down. And then you could see the unleash a rally of another horse here on the outside is going to swallow up second. And that looked like that was the outside horse that was absolutely rolling late there. I think that was the 4, if I'm not mistaken. But Gordy, Florida just could not sustain Hartwood's, heart, to be honest with you, no pun intended. He just grinded away with a nice win.
Oh, he'd been competitive against graded stakes competition, and Andy in his 5-year-old debut, he looked pretty good.
He did. I was a great pick, by the way, by Paul in the 3 Gordy, Florida. 8-1, as Paul said, he got all he could have wanted, and a nice late close by the 9 Control Stake to almost get up. But Hartwood's a horse that's been running against some very nice horses all year, and we've seen him on our shows. We saw him up in Saratoga in the Forgo, and he's been running in New York. His race 2 back in the fall high weight, he ran too well to lose, and I say that having gotten lucky and bet the winner. Hartwood's a horse that just tours the country, and he runs well every time, and it's nice to see those horses get a big win.
We're going to continue down the road to the Kentucky Derby next. Points on the line in the Sam F. Davis, grade 3 at 1 mile and a 16th. And Knicks Go, who was a shocking winner of the Breeders' Futurity at 70-1 to earn him a grade 1 victory. First ever for Ben Colebrook. Came onto the scene with that win. Post Parade brought to you by OCD Pellets, celebrating over 10 years of supporting the equine industry with their 2-in-1 bone and joint supplement. For more information, go to OCDpellets.com. We saw counter offer for Ian Wilkes, going gold for Bob Hess and Ron Paolucci, and there's Knicks Go.
Yeah, Knicks Go. When you're at 71, like you were saying, then went in the juvenile and almost shocked him at 40-1, so he has quality.
Moonster, a long shot for Dale Romans.
Yeah, only a maiden win on his resume. He really needs to improve, hence his 49-1 odds.
It's beat by Federal Case, who we saw in the Holy Bull last week. He ran 7th. Kentucky Wildcat, he would be a hunch play for a lot of people if he made the starting gate in the first Saturday in May.
Yeah, he would, and he's out of a damn Better Lucky, who was a grade 1 winner. This is a tremendous pedigree on this colt.
5-star General Arnaud Delacour, we just saw with a winner. We'll try and go back-to-back.
Well, since they've added blinkers, 2 for 2, but both of those races were off the turf events.
Todd Pletcher's won this race 6 times before. He sends out So Alive for Robert LaPenta.
He's been a favorite in all 3 of his races, and he hasn't disappointed only in 1 of those, but now he needs to take a step forward.
Well-defined is the 9 the blinkers go on today for Kathleen O'Connell.
This is a horse that already had speed. Now the blinkers go on, so look for more speed, the 1 to catch.
And Graham Motion, he won the Derby back in 2011 with Animal Kingdom. He sends out Long Shot Still Dreaming.
Figured it all out last time out, going a little bit longer, but that was only on a 6-horse field. Now gets the acid test today.
Another prep for the Kentucky Derby, and Knicks Go. 5-2 on the board. He is not favored right now. Kentucky Wildcat is for Godolphin and Tom Albertrani. Let's go to Maggie Wolfendale and Bob Newmeyer.
Thanks, Greg. And Bob and I were both a little surprised to see the board looking the way it does, a little remiss as we both like Kentucky Wildcat. But let's start off with Knicks Go here, Bob. He's a bit of a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Which one will we see today?
Well, when he's right, he'll beat this field. But I'm not so sure. The Knicks as a basketball team may be the worst in the league. So where are the Knicks going? I'll tell you where they're going. They're going to the NBA draft lottery where they hope to pluck Zion Williamson of Duke University. But we'll see. So I'm not crazy about this horse, to be honest with you, Maggie. But if he's right, he's tough.
He is tough. And what I did notice is that while he comes off a little bit of a break, he looks extremely fit. And he's got a little longer in his frame, which bodes well for trying to get these types of distances. And I'm sure Andy Sterling is fuming up in New York, having heard you say that about the Knicks. And maybe they'll pick up somebody from University of Kentucky Wildcat here, Bob. He looks absolutely phenomenal in the flesh. I mean, he has progressed really nicely since his last start back at Aqueduct, 86 buyer, where he beat Country House last time, and Country House came back and trounced a field at Gulfstream.
Yeah, it's my pick. Trying to make it 3 in a row. They're going to call me Chalk Newmeyer after a while, but they're betting this horse as well. This is a Godolphin stable, internationally known. Sheikh Mohammed Al Maktoum helps with the breeding. This is by Tappet, arguably the best stallion in the world. Out of a grade 1 mare. And Tom Albatrani is the trainer, and he likes to take it slow and easy. He doesn't have a flashy win percentage, but he takes time. And I like the horse, to be honest with you. I'm amazed at the price. I thought it'd be 8 to 1, to be honest with you. 2 to 1 at last check.
Yeah, he's taken a lot of play as of now. As a horse that I thought would take some play as well is number 7, 5-Star General. That is for Arnaud Delacour. Now, he'll try his first start around 2 turns in this Sam F. Davis. Physically and in his disposition, he looks as though he's a horse that should be able to handle it. My problem is, coming off of a layoff, it looks a little bit on the heavier side.
I like the name. 5-Star General, Douglas MacArthur, Dwight David Eisenhower, Omar Bradley, among others. So I do like the name, no doubt. He'll be a bit of a shocker here today. But again, if Knicks Go is okay, and I want to also mention Well Defined, the Kathleen O'Connell trainee, is big number on the board. If he's right, he's somewhat like Knicks Go. And that last year, 2 races are very, very good, but 16 to 1 at last check. They don't like it.
Now, do you have any love for So Alive, horse for trainer Todd Pletcher, who has won this 6 out of the last 13 runnings? He is one of a few horses who does have more than 1 win. And Bob, I didn't love him in the paddock, but once he got out here on the track, he kind of unraveled this big floating stride, which I always appreciate with horses as they progress through these distances leading up to the Kentucky Derby.
He's taking money. That may be Todd. Todd's won, as Greg pointed out, 6 times, including Destin, any given Saturday, among others. So they're betting the combination. Todd, again, has won it 6 times, no doubt. So Alive, 5 to 2. I don't think it's a great price, to be honest with you. So I know they're betting Todd, and Javier's won the last 2, so he's hot. There's no doubt about that. So it's an interesting race because it's kind of what goes on then and what goes on now is what we're going to see today.
Yeah, and a guy who always has an opinion on what may go on is Andy Sterling. Andy, how do you see this Sam F. Davis playing out?
I just think it's pathetic that Bob is taking shots at the Knicks just because his Boston teams are doing so well. But I'm not really a Knicks fan, so I don't really mind. I like Kentucky Wildcat. I'm only afraid that all 4 of us have picked this horse. But he comes out of a very nice race, and we've seen also Wrens come out of that race and run well. The runner-up, Country House, broke his maiden with a tough trip down at Gulfstream in his next start, and he's a horse who can win the Risen Star next week at Fairgrounds. But Kentucky Wildcat has run well really in all of his starts, especially since he's been stretched out. Now, he got a pretty good trip last time, but he held off Country House, who was coming at him in the stretch, and Kentucky Wildcat is a talented runner. But I don't think it's fair to just dismiss Knicks Go. Not only was maybe it ill-advised to come back just 22 days after the Breeders' Cup and run him in Kentucky, but perhaps he didn't like the sloppy sealed track that day as well. He ran very well in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, and if you look at runners that finished behind him in that race, a number of horses have come back and improved their figures substantially in subsequent starts. So that race was legitimate in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. The question for Knicks Go really is, will there be too much pace for him, and will he get embroiled in a speed duel? But let's be fair. While he hasn't won, he has run reasonably well sitting behind horses. But once again, it's that age-old question. Can he win a race when he is not in the lead early? And it appears that there is some other speed in here, particularly the 2 going for gold inside of him. I like Kentucky Wildcat, but I think it's a very tough race and an interesting one as well.
I'm with Andy. I think you could maybe just put a line through that last race. He maybe didn't like that off track. Ben Colebrook said this horse could be a little tricky. Not every horse loves it. He has trained sensational in the morning, couple of bullet works. He has just thrived working out over this racetrack, and he said he's really seen mental and physical progression from this horse as well.
Yeah, listen, he's done nothing wrong in the morning. He's thrown bullet after bullet, and he's proved himself at 70-1 and 40-1. Now he needs to improve himself even more now as his first start as a 3-year-old, as he's going to try to get in that gate in the first Saturday in May. And maybe he's an underachiever, maybe he's not. We'll find out today if he's the real deal and if he is a player.
Knicks go. He was second to game winner in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Ben Colebrook says he's more settled and professional in his gallops as well. Will that play out in the afternoon? Points on the line to get into the starting gate for the Derby. Here's Richard Grunder with the Sam F. Davis.
Off and running in the 39th running of the Sam Davis. Up on the outside, well-defined, is gunning for the early lead. Knicks go. The favorite comes away in good order now, second. Going for gold as they are toward the rail third. 5-Star General gets over nicely now fourth, and the last horse away is the late running So Alive. Around the clubhouse turn they go. Well-defined, tears clear now to lead the race by 4. Knicks go, settles into stride nicely now, second, 3 parts of a length. Going for gold as they are toward the rail now third. Then it's a break of 4 lengths back. Moonster skims the rail now fourth. 5-Star General, 3 deep on the outside and racing along fifth. From between horses, Still Dreaming sixth. Then it's 2.5 lengths farther back to Godolphin Stables, Kentucky Wildcat. Then it's a length and a half farther back to Moonster, and far back at this point is the late running So Alive. They leave the half-mile marker. Well-defined in Morales. They're trying to steal off in the Sam Davis. They have the lead 2.5. Knicks go on the outside. Now gets the wake-up call and shaken up for run second. Going for gold is toward the rail third. Still Dreaming is now putting in a run now fourth. There goes Kentucky Wildcat. And Joe Bravo has him running. But as they approach the quarter-mile pole, Well-defined is still the target. He's widening on the field by 3. Here's Kentucky Wildcat under an all-out ride. Running at the leader second. Down along the inner rail, Knicks go appears to be struggling third. They're into the stretch and the upset might be on. It's Well-defined, still in front. Kentucky Wildcat continues to surge at the leader on the outside. Well-defined down to the wire. The local connections, Kathleen O'Connell, Pablo Morales, make every pole a winning one. Kentucky Wildcat second, So Alive flies on to be third. A 3-horse photo from fourth.
Well-defined, gets to the front and just keeps on going. Blinkers on, showed improved speed. Big performance for the son of Wit Distinction.
This was the last horse that Bob mentioned about Kathleen O'Connell, putting the blinkers on, and the old adage worked here, right? Speed kills. He got this horse to the front end, Pablo Morales. He was able to back him up a tiny bit, the son of Wit Distinction on the backside. Kentucky Wildcat, the only one that made up any move, and they were like 8 clear of everybody else, so congratulations to the connections. Well done.
Back at Oakland and the King Cotton, it was Hartwood in his 5-year-old debut, picking up this 6th victory of his career and his first since back in August at Mountaineer.
Congratulations to son of Tappet out of the Forestry Mare, Maple Forest.
We're going to take a break. The Grade 3 Thunder Road from Santa Anita. True Valor looking to spring the upset and earn his first win in the States next.
This one is by Tappet and is a brilliant Grade 1 winner.
Elliott, of course you're talking about Constitution. He was a TD and Rising Star in his debut. He became an undefeated Grade 1 winner when he won the Florida Derby in his 3rd start. And in the Don Handicap as a 4-year-old, he ran a 1:11 Beyer speed figure, which is still the fastest Tappet around 2 turns.
And don't forget about his allowance race. When he beat Wicked Strong and Tunnelist, his first 2-year-olds have every right to be fast.
One of the things I like about Run Happy is he's one of the more athletic sires that I've seen. He's clearly passing that on through his offspring. He's really sampling the foals and they're starting to look a lot like him.
Well, this horse comes from a great sire who was just so talented. We've wanted to buy one ever since we started looking in November.
16.5, Market Bank 250,000.
And then you add a sire like Run Happy, and then you put a physical on the ground like that baby, and you know, for us, it's a must-have.
Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
You're watching Fox Sports Saturday at the races on Fox Sports 2. It's brought to you in part by champion sprinter Run Happy, Clips Award sprinting champion of 2015, raced his entire career, 100% medication-free, the son of Super Saver from his first crop. 2015 won the King's Bishop, the Phoenix, the Breeders' Cup Sprint, and the Malibu here in Southern California. Up next at Santa Anita, Grade 3 Thunder Road at a mile on a turf, purse of $100,000. In River Boyne at 4-5 has never lost in 6 starts on the turf here.
Yeah, it just sticks out like a sore thumb, doesn't it? 6 for 6 here at Santa Anita, 3 for 4 at the distance, and just never runs a bad race.
River Boyne kicks off our post parade here. Also 3 for 4 at this distance with a second as well. Loves a mile, loves the turf, loves Santa Anita.
Yeah, and he's been a favorite too in all of his starts. He's a human, or excuse me, an equine ATM.
Ohio for Mike McCarthy, coming off a big effort at Turf Paradise.
Yeah, it's really hard to distinguish. The Cotton Fitzsimmons is a big race at Turf Paradise, and he won nicely there.
Ron McAnally sends out LeCan, the 3.
Good second last time. The Worry 0 for 9 the last 2 years.
Desert Stone, he gave River Boyne all he could handle from off the pace last start.
Yeah, and he didn't have a great beginning. He flew home in the Mathis Mile. I just don't know if he's better today or if that was his effort last time.
True Valor, he's a Group 3 winner overseas in Ireland at Leopardstown, now with Simon Callahan.
Yeah, we saw Simon send out the great Bellafina earlier. Now he's got this little turf runner for Qatar Racing.
And Blackjack Cat, he was very good back when he was a 4-year-old. Now, as a 6-year-old, he hasn't won in a while.
Yeah, and, you know, he's only run 5 times in the last 2 years, so issues there. But when he has his game, he's pretty fast early.
Our Santa Anita coverage is brought to you by the California Thoroughbred Breeders Association. It pays to be Calbred. For more information, please visit ctba.com. The Grade 3 Thunder Road coming up in just a little bit. Let's check in with Michelle Yu.
Thanks, guys. Just over here on the turf course, waiting for the horses to make their way across the crossover from the dirt where they're circling right behind me. I was able to catch up with several of the connections going into this Thunder Road, which even though it's a newly upgraded Grade 3, still reads like a really high-level stakes race in here. River Boyne, the deserving favorite in here, he has been nothing if not consistent. And the one question mark for me was going to be the ground. I went and talked to Jeff Mullins about it because we did see this horse flop over at Churchill when the ground was yielding. The turf course is officially listed as good here, but as I'm standing on it right now, it feels really firm under my feet. So Jeff said, we'll just see how good it actually is, but he wasn't concerned. This horse breaks very well here from the rail, and he needs the cover, so that's going to be an excellent position for him there. I also talked to Mike McCarthy about Ohio. He was pretty close last time out as he drew the rail in the Cotton Fitzsimmons, but he says he doesn't want to be too far back today, so it could be the tail of the trip for both of these two guys.
Michelle, thank you very much. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more ahead. Grade 3 Thunder Road is next. And 4-5 on River Boyne. He has never lost on the turf at Santa Anita. Can he keep that perfect record intact? We'll find out next.
An undefeated graded stakes winner on the track, Algorithms was the nation's #1 sire of 2-year-olds in 2017 by percentage of winners. His top runners include Rich Mommy, winner of the Grade 3 Sugar Swirl, multiple stakes winner and graded stakes performer Recruiting Ready, stakes winner and graded stakes performer Vanish, and recent stakes winners Taylor Spirit and Tracy Racing. In the ring, his 2-year-olds have brought prices up to $300,000. Algorithms, standing at Claiborne Farm.
It's America's original sport, and no one covers it better than americasbestracing.net. From the sport to the lifestyle, the best races, horses, and destination venues, cocktails, gambling, fashion, and more. americasbestracing.net is A sport for you. Live it, love it, bet it.
We're back on Fox Sports Saturday at the races on Fox Sports 2. And we have a graded stakes race coming up from the West Coast here at Santa Anita, the Grade 3 Thunder Road, where the rail horse, the one River Boyne, looking to remain perfect at Santa Anita and go 7 for 7 on this turf course as they load up. Frank Miramati with the call, the Thunder Road.
Was just standing still when the gate opened and is last. LeCan is going to the front. Blackjack Cat is right up alongside of him and puts his white blinkers on the lead. Ohio will settle in a perfect spot third, followed by True Valor. Then River Boyne and Desert Stone is at the back. Blackjack Cat is the leader around the first turn. LeCan is just a length behind, now a length and a half. Another 4 back to Ohio, leaving the rail open for River Boyne, who comes through on the inside to be a joint third. Then it's True Valor, and Desert Stone has 6 to make up. Onto the backstretch they go, chasing Blackjack Cat, who's in front a length and a half to LeCan second. River Boyne getting closer, eager to do so as well, and Ohio comfortable outside of him. Then it's True Valor in the 5th spot, 4 lengths off the lead, and a length and a half to Desert Stone. Into the far turn, Blackjack Cat. LeCan starts to put a little pressure on him as they're now sprinting around the far turn. Ohio takes third. He's in with a big chance, moving in nicely. At the rail, River Boyne is 3 lengths off the lead, now guided off the rail as he's joined by True Valor. And Desert Stone has trailed throughout. Ohio cut loose at the top of the stretch. Up to engage LeCan with a furlong left to go. Just behind them, River Boyne is trying to negotiate a very narrow hole. He didn't get through. And on the outside, True Valor, a driving finish. Ohio, True Valor. LeCan fights on. True Valor takes the lead. And it's True Valor and Andrea Atzeni to win it.
True Valor Simon Callahan, Qatar Racing, comes up with a shocking upset here.
Yeah, and look at the deep stretch in here between the 5 and the 2 Ohio. The jockey on Ohio goes right-handed, and the 1 River Boyne trying to split the gap might have got shut off here at 3-5, but 11-1 shot unofficially crosses the wire first here for True Valor here and Simon Callahan. We had to see a head-on, but it looks like there might not have been a lot of room here, so if you had this one, this is key for your pick 5 and pick 6.
3-5 beat, first ever defeat on this turf course at Santa Anita for River Boyne. Double-digit odds on True Valor. We're going to step aside for another timeout. Going to take a look at the Kentucky Derby. Pool number 2, the second of 4 is out. Pools closed Sunday night, 6 p.m. Eastern time. We'll take a look at how it stands right now when we come back on Fox Sports Saturday at the races.
One thing that everybody wants in our game is they want speed. Daredevil has the speed. You know that he ran a 107 buyer when he won the Champagne Stakes, the Grade 1. That's faster than Uncle Mo, Scat Daddy, and Union Rag.
As a 2-year-old, he ran a 96 buyer when he broke his maiden, a 107 buyer in the Champagne, beating a nice horse in Upstart. He is by more than ready. Another feather in his cap. I can't wait to see these horses run it too.
Coming on strong. Coming on.
Minute to stardom leaves them all behind with an impressive-looking run.
Coming on.
Testing 1-2 is all alone. She comes to the 16th pole, and this one is all over but the crying. At the 16th pole, this is all Rockin' Sunday Mash.
My love for you. Coming on strong.
Lakerville, the blistering fast, stakes-winning star by unusual heat, is now a leading freshman sire in California. After a career of 5 wins and 4 placings in just 11 starts, his progeny are delivering, with 3 winners from just 6 starters, including Lakerball, who posted back-to-back stakes wins at 2 tracks in open company in just 3 weeks.
Lakerville is a rising star in the California breeding shed. His first crop are very precocious and show exceptional speed.
Lakerville, standing at Harris Farms. It pays to be Cal-bred.
A dozen weeks to Derby, and the time to bet a winner is now?
Sure is.
Okay. I'm Dan Torchman, he's Blackjack Fletcher. This is the Odds Couple, and this is the weekend to bet on Pool 2 of the Kentucky Derby Future Wager. You can do that on just about any horse betting website. You've already got your action. Who's the horse?
Game Winner. Game Winner is undefeated. He's looked like an absolute machine. Right now, you can catch him at 6-1, which is a far greater price than you'll get him at on Derby Day.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Well worth it.
My horse is Hidden Scroll. Look, Hidden Scroll hasn't faced Stakes Company yet, but we saw him on Pegasus World Cup Day. He won by 14 friggin' lengths.
Huge.
104 Beyer speed figure, 115 Equibase speed figure. Those are numbers you don't see from many horses on Derby Day. So the horses that get in don't even have numbers like that. He's about a shoo-in if he keeps progressing. Right now, 12-1 in the Kentucky Derby Future Poll. Give me another long shot.
Knicks Go. I love Knicks Go. We saw him at the Breeders' Cup in Churchill Downs, and you asked, why is this horse still 30-1? He always overperforms. So I'm going to take a shot. He's still at 30-1 that he's got a chance to win the Kentucky Derby.
He's not getting any respect. Another horse not getting any respect yet is one named Win. He won by 7+ lengths in the Pasco Stakes at Tampa Bay Downs. He's coming back in the Tampa Bay Derby. If he wins then, I can assure you his price will be a lot shorter than the 30-1 you're going to be getting right now this weekend betting on the Derby Future Pool. We're the odds couple. We'll see you soon.
So we got questions for you. America's Best Racing has your answers. I'm speechless after that. Visit americasbestracing.net today as we take a look at the Kentucky Derby future odds and some big numbers on here. Coliseum for Bob Baffert. We're going to see actually in action tomorrow at the track.
Dan Torchman and a.k.a. Blackjack Fletcher, a.k.a. Michael Berg. Great guys, and they put on a good show at America's Best Racing. But yeah, here's the Derby future odds. This is the third one. Game Winner at 4-1. I still like him, but I can't play him at 4-1. He still was the most impressive horse to me on Breeders' Cup weekend, and I still think he's Bob Baffert's best horse, even though everybody keeps telling me there's other ones. I'm sticking with Game Winner, but I can't bet him now. But if you like one, pick one.
War of Will. Mark Cassidy thinks he's a superstar. Winner of the LeComp. You're going to see him again at Fairgrounds likely. You can bet all these races we're showing you and beyond. Naira Bets members earn a $200 new member sign-up bonus. Enter the promo code LIVE at sign-up. Bet 200 and you'll get 200 to bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Go to NairaBets.com or download the Naira Bets app. Back at Santa Anita in the Grade 3 Thunder Road. True Valor, $25 winner.
Yeah, congratulations. This son of Kodiak at Acclamation Mare, Sutton, Lanai. Congratulations, Andrea Adzeni. He gave this horse a very patient ride and a little unlucky for the one, River Boyne.
Let's go to Michelle Yu.
Joined once again by Simon Callahan. Simon, what a picture-perfect ride that was. Did that go as planned to you?
Yeah, we just wanted to hold him up. I mean, that's what he wants to do, is come there late. I think last time he got there too soon, and Andrea said put a ring bit on and let me ride him again, and he just rode him perfectly.
Congratulations.
Great. Thank you so much.
Guys?
He's so calm. He's been there plenty of times before. He's got some really nice horses right now.
That's pretty cool. You know, sometimes you got to listen to your rider or whatever. That single ring bit, that's it. And $16, like we were talking about at Tampa, well-defined, spices up that late pick 4 and that late pick 5. Good job by Pablo Morales taking the initiative.
Yeah, earns 10 points to get into the starting gate for the Kentucky Derby as well. Front-running score on this performance. Let's go to Maggie Wolfendale for more.
Here with winning trainer of today, Sam F. Davis, Kathleen O'Connell with well-defined. And Kathleen, you tend to rule here at Tampa. How sweet, though, is this victory?
It's very, very special. Very special to have it at Tampa Bay.
And Florida bred that, coming into the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, had one of the biggest figures of any. Have you always kind of been high on this horse? He really put them to bed today.
He did, and you know, he's had little things that happen, and he's growing up mentally and physically. But today he showed up with his game face on.
Well, Kathleen, 10 points closer to the Kentucky Derby. You feeling confident?
Well, I like the horse a lot, and of course the decision will be with the owner. But like I say, we just want him healthy.
Well, congratulations. Relish this win in the Davis.
Thank you very much.
Tampa Bay Derby may in your plan?
Just heard as well, a second-place finisher in this race, Kentucky Wildcat. He was actually vanned off in this race, so we wish all the best for him and hope to see him back on the racetrack soon.
Hopefully everything's okay. He's got a tremendous pedigree. I'm not talking about pedigree or not. The horse himself, hopefully everything's okay. It just shows you the heart these kind of horses have and how they love to run, that he was actually gaining on the winner Hopefully he's okay.
Naira Betts cross country pick 5 follow along, 50-cent payout over $1,000. At America's Best Racing Ass, it's been 3 months from the Kentucky Derby. When do you make your bet? And the majority of the public saying Derby week.
I think it's the right call, Derby week. Usually you have somewhat your horse going into the Derby week. Then you want to make sure and go through all your publications and all your TV programs like us at Fox Saturday the Races. Get some of our opinions. Take them, like them, throw them out. Then go with your horse.
And
Stick with it.
I think things just got a little more confusing on the Derby Trail after what we saw this afternoon.
Yeah.
Nick's Go, not the performance we were expecting from him. And now another new shooter you got to throw into the mix.
No, listen, it's still early, and we have not seen the Kentucky Derby winner yet. We've seen some nice horses, but not yet.
Long way to go. Just under 3 months until that first Saturday in May. Hope you enjoyed this edition of Fox Sports Saturday at the Races. We are back on President's Day Monday, February 18th. We will see you then, of course, in the Jimmy Winkfield. Hey, Call went to the rail from off the pace for Kieran McLaughlin. Could he go to the Triple Crown Trail? Point of Honor in the Suncoast got the job done for trainer George Weaver in Eclipse Thoroughbreds. Bellafina remains the toast of the West Coast in the 3-year-old filly division and well-defined in the Sam F. Davis. Take care.